224 persons called Waldenses burnt for the faith in a place near Tolouse, AD 1243, when the north wind, Away go north wind, and come thou south, blow upon my garden, that the spices thereof may flow out. Solomon 4:16. Of persecution, which from the year 1233 on had done but little harm in the garden of the true Christians, began to rise again. AD 1243, there were apprehended near Tolouse 224 persons called Waldenses, who are to be distinguished, and were also then distinguished from the others, who carried arms and called themselves Albigenses, but had no communion with the true Albigenses and Waldenses, both of whom were opposed to all revenge, professed the same confession respecting suffering and bearing for the name of Christ. These 224 defenseless and innocent lambs of Christ having been apprehended, and refusing to forsake the great shepherd of the sheep, Jesus Christ, and his holy commandments, also the faith in his name, were all condemned to death and burnt alive, thus offering up a living holy sacrifice acceptable unto God. AD 1243. This great number of martyred Waldenses, through the carelessness of some writers, has been mingled under the mire of certain erring persons, from whence we've drawn them forth again, though not without labor. An ancient writer says, I seek pearls in the mire. Note, besides the above authors, P.J. Twisk also, it seems, makes mention of these 224 persons from the account of Henry Boxhorn, though he differs somewhat in regard to the time when this happened, as well as to the number of persons put to death, for instead of AD 1243, he has it AD 1242, and instead of 224, he has about 200. However, this difference is easily reconciled if first, in regard to the time, AD 1242, it is understood to mean the end or close of said year, and AD 1243 the beginning, the number of persons put to death about 200 to mean over 200, or 224, as expressed. The words of his account are as follows. AD 1242, the Waldenses had to suffer much from popery on account of their faith and religion. At this time about 200 persons, together with 2 of their preachers, were apprehended in the bishopric of Toulouse by the bishop of Narbonne and Albi, and the seneschal of Carcassonne, and were all burnt alive, continuing steadfastly in their religion.